Hey guys, like I said in my post, I would shout out to the person that I'm doing this. So, if you read this, it is, what if Deku had the fox quirk? Well, I'm changing that into something else, but I like the idea, so that's why I'm choosing it. But, I will think about, if y'all want to, I'll change the ship, but, I'm pretty down with it, but your guys' choice. Anyways, let's get, also, I should also shout out the other guy that actually also posted. This guy. Thank you for actually going on to my post, but yeah. And pretty much this will be called Kusum. I swear I could say it in my head, but I can't say it like out loud. Kutsun Deku. But what I'm gonna do is pretty much Deku will be having a good connection with a wolf, fox type thing. Okay. And yeah, it'll make more sense because I'm gonna explain this really detailed. But yeah, but we're gonna begin off when Izuku's young. We begin off with pretty much Izuku week after the quirk doctor, so he's already been bullied for a little bit, just for a few days, and he's okay with it right now. I mean, it's just they'll get over it eventually, right? He thinks to himself all the time about that, but he just doesn't know. His mom comes in and says, "Hey, sweetie, do you need anything? I'm going to the store, okay?" And he said, "No, I'm okay, Mom," with a smile. And she said, "Oh, okay then," and leaves. Once Izuku knows that she left, Izuku goes outside and just goes to the park. He's just playing by himself because he has no more friends. The people that he thought that were friends, like Bakugo, just gave up. They just gave up on him, so they're not his friends. And Midoriya at a young age is kind of cold already. He will be nice to his mom, of course, because he loves his mom. His mom's supportive, but he's really cold now. He won't really talk to anyone as nice as he usually would to his mom, but he'll still speak to some people if he wants to. And yeah. And let's say Izuku's just playing, and that's when he sees a white animal. He goes over to it, and that's when he sees it's a fox. He goes up to it and sees it's a little hurt. He's hurt a little bit. So he grabs the fox and goes back to his house. In his house, he grabs some bandages and wraps around the arm. Says, "There you go, buddy. Brand new." And Izuku noticed the head, and he noticed that there's red markings on it. He says, "Huh, what type of species are you? Never really seen this. I've only just seen regular foxes that are white, I guess. I guess that is interesting, even though it's kind of spring. You're probably unique, aren't you, little guy?" He taps his nose, and this little fox is pretty happy. And Midoriya says, "Well, I guess I'll stay here with you then." And Midoriya just stays in there, and keep it known, Midoriya's still a little kid, so he's just having a good time with this little fox. And let's say that when his mom got home, she went to go check on him, and she saw Izuku playing with this fox, and she said, "Sweetie, what is that?" He said, "Well, it was hurt, so I just helped it. I'm sorry, Mom." She says, "No, it's okay. But when it's healed, you're gonna have to release it, okay?" And he said, "But Mom, look." And he shows her, and she said, "You know how much sweetie, it's a lot of money to buy one of these, because you have to get a regiment and stuff." And he says, "I'll save up money, I'll swear. I'll help pay." And she said, "Fine, we'll keep it." And he said, "Yes." And he says, "Now I gotta think of a name for you." And all of a sudden, they both saw the fox disappear. And he said, "Wait, did I do something, Mom?" She said, "No, I don't know what happened." And that's when the fox just reappears out of nowhere. And she said, "Wait, the markings. Hold on, sweetie, I'll be right back, okay?" And he said, "Oh, okay." And this fox just looks at Midoriya and licks him. And he said, "Oh, still cute though." She comes back and says, "That's interesting." And he said, what is it, Mommy?" She said, "Well, sweetie, remember the stories I used to tell you of the fox that was a tricky little one, but is a good animal? He said, yeah, why? And she says, well, this is part of the species. It's a kitsune. It's a spirit. And he said, wait, really? Wow. I guess we are lucky to... Wait, does that mean we have to give it back to the forest or wherever it came from? And the fox looks at him and just goes and just disappears. They're both confused. And it comes back out. It just reappears out of nowhere. And that's when it just sits by Midoriya and stays right beside him. She said, well, I don't think so, sweetie. You don't have a quirk, but I think you are blessed by Kusan now. This will be your companion. So, sweetie, you know what that means? And he says, what, mommy? What, mommy? You could be a hero, a strong hero. And Midoriya is happy. He smiles so big, and he says, wait, really, mommy? Yes, you can, sweetie. And I'll be here, because now I know about our little friend here. And the fox goes by her and and she just pets him. And he says, thank you, mommy, for giving me hope. And yeah, now we skip a few years. We go to the beginning of high school. Midoriya is scared, of course. And oh yeah, I should show you guys this. So I looked up Kusan mask, right? And whoever draws these, oh, I love their art design, because look at this. I love this. This is cool. I like the sword and everything. I like how this is like a different mask, but same guy with the same different sword. I like that. I just love the images that this guy draws. I mean, this guy has a lot of detail. But yeah, Midoriya is happy that he's finally going to high school, but he's also nervous because Bakugo's still in the same school. And over the years, the Kusan is learned how to speak to Midoriya since it's his companion. And the Kusan says, Midoriya, don't worry, I'm here with you. And remember the abilities I've given you. Now, this is what the abilities that Midoriya has received. First ability is the fire breath. Midoriya can spit out a little fire. Not big and not so strong, but a fire. Midoriya can control water too. Not a big portion, but can control it enough to hit someone hard. And he can control the earth in a little bit. What I mean by that is he could sense when people are coming around. So he has awareness. And Midoriya could hover above the ground. And the ability that they're training right now is this. The spirit. This is an orb that if he throws at someone, he could do numerous things. It could be a water, fire, even an earth type of orb. But he could also make someone tell the truth or make them angered. Whatever he needs, this orb could do. He's not strong at it though, but he will eventually. But yeah, Midoriya finally goes inside and says thank you, Kusan. And it's always with him no matter what, like I said. And they sit in class, and Bakugo finally goes in. He doesn't acknowledge Midoriya. He just talks to his friends. Everyone's talking to their friends and talking about how excited they are. Midoriya's just sitting down and just pretty much writing in his notebook about heroes. And someone goes up to him, just some random person, and he says, I have a question, kid. And he says, yeah, I'm new here, but I heard that you're quirkless. I'm sorry if this is rude. And he said, not really, I guess. And he said, wait, you're not? And that's caught some people's attention, except for Bakugo and his friends. And some people are coming towards him, and he says, wait, people said that you're quirkless. He said, yeah, but I'm a late bloomer, so I have a quirk now. And he said, wait, really? Can I see, if that's okay? And he says, yeah. And he says, here. And all of a sudden, he blows out a little fire. He says, that's one of my little abilities I could do. And he says, little, what do you mean? He says, well, I could also control water, and I could sense when people are coming around. Like, there's 3 people behind me right now, and he looks up and actually sees there's 3, and he says, wow, that's a pretty interesting quirk. He says, yeah, I could also have a little orb, I guess I like. They called it avatar. I don't know what they. I kind of forgot what they called my quirk, and Midori kind of laughs about it. But he says, "Well, I like calling it Kusan." And the boy says, "Wait, the spirit?" He says, "Yeah, I don't know, because I've read. My mom's told me stories about how the Kusan could control elements, and I kind of can, so I like it." And he says, "Wait, if so, does that mean you could have an orb?" And he says, "Yes, that's what I was about to show you." And all of a sudden, he shows an orb changing colors whenever he wants to. He said, "That's pretty much it." And he says, "Wow, that's a pretty cool quirk." He says, "Thank you." Bakugo finally noticed and said, "Kid got quirk now." Still weak though. But Bakugo's a little happy for Midoriya because Bakugo in this universe is still a bully. He's such a dickhead still, but he still cares about Midoriya because he still thinks over the times that they were friends. He still laughs about the times. And yeah. The teacher finally comes in and says, "Hello, class. I will be your teacher for this year. Your homeroom teacher. You'll be going to other classes and stuff like that." And they said, "Hi, sensei." And he says, "Well, let's just get to know each other. You all could just stand up here and tell your names, even your quirks if you want to, but you don't have to. And then, yeah. Then I'll probably start the lesson eventually. Today's just going to be a chill day, and yeah." And the teacher says, "Well, I'll be right back. I must use the restroom." And he left, and people started going. Katsuki Bakugo says, "Katsuki Bakugo, quirk explosion. The strongest out of all you freaks." And some people get pissed off, and some people laugh about it just a little bit. Bakugo gets pissed about the people that laughed about it. Says, "What the hell was that laugh about, huh? You think not? I'll fight you right here, right now." And then finally Midoriya goes up. He says, "Izuku Midoriya, quirk, Kusand." And Bakugo says, "You have a quirk now?" Bet it's not strong. He says, "Well, it's not really that strong yet. I'm gonna train it, but yeah. Thank you for acknowledging me finally, Bakugo." And Bakugo kind of just stopped talking for a little bit and just says, "Whatever." People go on, and the teacher comes back finally and says, "Okay, if so, let's begin our lesson." And yeah, and we go to lunch. We go to lunch now, and Midoriya's just thinking about how grateful he is to be connected with the Kusan. And the Kusan just talks to him. "Midoriya, I'm glad you're grateful for me, but I'm really glad that you've took me in when I needed it." He said, "Of course, I was just a little kid and I kind of wanted a pet anyways." And he said, "Yeah, true." And Midoriya starts eating, and that's when Bakugo sits right in front of him. And Midoriya notices but just stays quiet. He doesn't want to start any trouble. And Midoriya noticed that Bakugo ain't with his goons or his friends. And Midoriya just kept eating though. He doesn't want to start anything with Bakugo. All of a sudden his mind stops thinking because Bakugo said something. He said, "Oh, sorry, Kachan, what?" He said, "I said, congrats with your late bloomer, quirk, and congrats, Midoriya." And he said, "Thanks, Kachan." He says, "Yeah, whatever, Deku. So, what can you do with it, if I may ask?" He says, "Well, I could control water, fire, earth. I could sense people around me because of the earth ability, and then I can create orbs that are a lot stronger than the abilities I use. And I think I have a lot more to unlock, but for now, I just have these." He says, "Interesting. Okay." And Bakugo walks off again. And he says, "Thanks for the talk, Midoriya," and walks off. And Kusan says, "Bakugo has not talked to us for a while, huh?" And he said, "No, but hey, it's good to know that he recognizes me again." And he says, "Yes, Midoriya, that is true. You are a very likable person. I could say that for myself." And Midoriya just laughs to himself, and some people notice and just shrugged it off. And yeah, now we skip a few months to the year and a half. no, let's just go years. So we're doing a big time skip for years and years, because you have to go like, because Midoriya, let's say, is like 11 in this, and he's at 15 at canon, so 4 years pretty much. Let's go, yeah, 4 years. 4 years, 4 years have passed, and Midoriya has controlled his breath more, his water in the sensibility. And Midoriya asked his mom if he could train with a sword, so he can not just rely on the Kusan's power, so he could rely on his strength and his own skills. And she said, yeah, of course. So Midoriya, I like this one a lot. So Midoriya looks like this. He's pretty buff, right? He's buff for his age, and for years, for about 3 years, he's practiced with the sword, and he was not good at the first year at all. Second year, he got a little better, but was still pretty shit at it. Third year, he's really good now. He's actually gone into tournaments and fought, and he's won a few, lost a lot, but he knows that he's getting better though. And now it's his 4th year, and he stopped going to tournaments because he helped pay money for his mom, and so they could actually keep the Kusan. And yeah, Midoriya just trains himself, and his mom enjoys this, but she thought, if he's gonna be a hero, he needs something that he would like. And she goes to the store one day and buys a mask. The mask, you might say, is the Kusan mask. I love the mask. My arm. That hurt like a bitch. I love these masks because, to be honest, they're so fucking cool. And if you get it by the right person, dude, you're gonna have such a detailed mask. It's so crazy how detailed it would be. But yeah. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, I'm probably gonna get hated for this. But I think I found a hero costume for him. If you play Fortnite and you went to like a long time when the rifts first appear, you know one of the skins that I loved, that I love deeply in my heart, and it has a Kusan mask at one of the tiers, and then has it for the rest. It's motherfucking Drift. I mean, dude, some people have the coolest fucking fan art. And with this ability, with his hand, like with electricity, that's unlocking a new ability. That's going to be like a control electricity right there. And then he's going to be able to use a scythe. Because, dude, who the hell? That would be cool. Like a scythe and a sword together. Bruh. Coolest thing ever. But yeah. Anyways, please don't give me hate. But Midoriya does master a sword easily. Pretty quickly. He masters how to use it. And he kind of figures out somewhat to combine the elements to the sword. You could have a water blade or fire blade, not really an earth, because an earth blade would chip the blade. But he enjoys this. And we go to him in his class, and he has a few friends now. No one's important, but he has a few. And he isn't a popular, but everyone knows him for being a nice kid. Because no matter what, if even a bully got in trouble, there's a rumor that went out that is a true rumor. Even the bully said it was true, that Midoriya one day was getting bullied by this bully, and Midoriya, after a little while, after he stopped getting beaten, the bully left. But when Midoriya got up, he just walked home. But on his way home, he saw the bully was about to get hurt by some bad people, robbers, and Midoriya stepped in and helped him. That day, Midoriya received a lot of bandages and a lot of hittings from his mom. But even the bully says, I don't mess with him anymore. He saved my life. But some people still think that it's a fake. And obviously people bully him, but Midoriya doesn't really care. I mean, if he ever wants to, he could probably take them out with ease. And yeah. And the teacher comes in, let's say the teacher is talking and during one of his lessons, and he says, Midoriya, please tell me what the answer is to this. And Midoriya says the answer, and he says, okay, good. And looks like the teacher looks at the clock and says, well, we're about to run out of time, so I should tell you this. You should soon be applying for a hero school if you want to go to one. If not, just apply for something soon, because eventually we'll be getting forms to give you, and you would have to be applying for stuff. Because soon, eventually, we'll be going on a field trip in Japan. Obviously, we can't go outside, the school says, but we want to go to a nice spring, so you guys could just have a fun time, since we're getting close to the end of the year. But yes, that's all I wanted to say, and classes are dismissed. Have a good rest of your day. Everyone walks out and is talking about the spring or whatever. Midoriya says, I bet that's some good training. But do I really want to go? And he thinks about it, and the Kusan says, Midoriya, I think we should go. He says, wait, okay, why? But why though? He says, I haven't told you something, but there's a lot more to me if you want to know. If you want to, I'll tell you stuff, but there's a lot more to me. And he says, okay, yeah, then we'll go. Says, good. I already made plans to go to the place that I wanted to go to. And he said, wait, how? And he says, I disguised myself as the principal, transformed pretty much to as a principal, and yeah, changed everything. And he said, okay, I guess. I feel like that's very weird, just saying. He says, yes, it is, but just don't judge me. And he said, okay. And Midoriya just notices that he seems off, but why would he be off about it? He wants to show me something, so why would it be weird? So he asked, why do you sound so sad about it when you said that you should go? When you said I should go. Says, you see, I'm from there. I ran away for reasons. And he said, oh, it's okay. Well, you chose your person, and I'm here to protect you. And I'll fight if they try to hurt you. And yeah, he says, thank you, Midoriya. I knew you were good. I knew I chose a well person. He says, yeah, I think you did too. And Midoriya gets home, and he says, hey, Mom. And the Kusan finally goes out. Finally just comes out of nowhere. And says, hello, Masenko. And she says, hello, Kusan. Hello, Kusan. Hey, hello, sweetie. Food's ready for you guys. I gotta go out, okay? I gotta go to work. And they both said, okay, be safe. And they just eat. And the Kusan says, so, would you like to know about me? And he says, yeah. And he says, okay, go to your room. I'll meet you up there. And the Kusan disappears, and he says, okay. Midoriya washes the dishes real quick and just heads up. And they finally get up there, and that's when the Kusan is just sitting. And he says, so, what is it? And give me a second. And the Kusan just says, Midoriya, I should tell you why I ran away from there. You see, why I ran away is, if Midoriya says, wait, before you say something, whatever you say, I'll still be able to be your friend. I understand? Whatever you say, I don't care. And he says, thank you. And he says, well, the tribe that I came from, I guess, there's humans in there, so that there's tons of people that know about us, but they're assassins. And Midoriya says, I see. Does that mean? And he says, no. And I ran away because they wanted me to kill someone. I just couldn't, so I ran away. And the only reason I want to go back is I want to go back to give you an ability that I need to retrieve anyways for both of us. And he says, oh, okay. And this ability will be able to give you some new abilities, obviously, and powers that we will both be able to have and use. He said, oh, okay then. And Midoriya hugs him like you see in the photo. Says, don't worry. I'm with you no matter what, understand? And he says, thank you. And Inko... And yeah, we're going to the next day, and Midoriya wakes up, and Kusan's just laying on his bed. He says, oh, what a cute little doggo, pretty much, right? He pretty much gets up, changes, and then looks at his mask. He says, so, he's from a line of assassins. We'll show them why assassins shouldn't be here. We'll be a hero together. The Kusan hero. The man in the mask. And yeah. Midoriya gets dressed and thinks, you know what? It wouldn't be that bad to take my mask. He takes his mask and just puts it in his bag, because who knows? He loves his mask that his mother got him. But yeah. Hold on. But like I was saying, he wakes up Kusan and they both leave. And they finally get to school. I don't know, I just blanked out for a second, I'm sorry. But they finally get to school, and there's papers on everyone's desk, and it's where they want to go. Midoriya thinks and says, you know what? We should go to UA, don't you think? And they both agree on it, because UA is one of the best schools to go to. And they need to become strong, so they do it. And a little bit later, the teacher comes back and says, so if you didn't notice, I put up forms, and wow, I see everyone turned theirs in pretty quickly. Well, I'm gonna go through them, and if it's okay, I'm gonna say who people want to go to. And everyone says, yeah. So I'm guessing everyone wants to be a hero? And they all say, yeah, of course we do. Heroes being cool, you know, we get fame, money. And Midoriya says, that's not what we should do. Or Midoriya just thinks to himself and says, that's not what a hero's about. It's not about fame. It's not about money. It's about protecting the people. But they won't understand that. And yeah. So he reads off. So we have two people that want to go to a big school, UA. And they said, oh, who could it be? And some people are asking, hey, did you sign up for UA? And all of them say no. He says, well, we first have Katsuki Bakugo. And people say, and you hear whispers, oh yeah, that's pretty accurate. To be honest, with a strong work, good grades-ish, he would be able to go. And he says, yeah, obviously. And whoever's the second one probably won't make it in anyways. And then he says, oh, Midoriya, you're trying to go too? Bakugo looks back and says, maybe besides him. Right? And he just smirks about it. And says, Midoriya, if you get in, I'll make sure you'll be second hero, because no way in hell you're being first. And he says, oh, we'll see about that, Katsuki. And he says, Katsuki, what about Kachan? What happened to that? Right? And he says, oh, what do you mean, Kachan? And he smiles, and he says, whatever, nerd. And he says, well, okay. And he names off some other people going to other schools that is pretty good as UA, but not as good. And yeah. Whoa. Tired. Feelings for you. Okay, but yeah. And God, I love this. I love this design. It's too good for you. You know what? We could get rid of these. We don't need the drift. But I will unlock his electricity ability. I still want that. But I thought about it. You know what? Midoriya has a Kusan on his side. He doesn't need a hero costume because he has this. This is going to be his hero costume because why not? And he'll just look like this on the usual, you know? Dude, I love this. But he will get his electricity power. But yeah. And let's say Midoriya finally, after school, Midoriya got an email when he got home on his laptop. He got an email saying, "You are able to go to the spring. Are you going? Yes or no?" He clicks yes instantly and it says, "Understood. Please pack. You will be leaving in 2 days. Tomorrow you do not have to go to school, but the next day you will, so you could be able to leave." And he says, "Okay." He clicks okay, and yeah. Midoriya packs up clothes and actually looks how long they're gonna have to be there, and he sees that they're being there for just a week, and he thinks, wait, isn't the next week then just the last? Oh wow, this is the second to last week, huh? Midoriya thinks about it and says, well, I gotta meet these people, and yeah, he packs, and we're gonna skip the next day because nothing happens. He just trains. And then the next day he goes to school, and there's a bus saying people that are going to the springs, right? And Midoriya goes over there, and there's a list. He says, name, this guy, the security guard pretty much says, name, and he says, Izuku Midoriya? He says, oh, yeah, you're first on the list, okay. Put your bags right here, and you're able to go in. He says, okay. Midoriya goes in, and the guard has to look through the bag, but before Midoriya fully gets in, he says, wait, come back here. He says, oh, yeah? Says, what is this? And he pulls out his blade. He says, oh, it's my sword, obviously. He says, yes, but why is it with you? He says, oh, I was gonna train, when we have our own time. He says, whatever. You have a mask, clothes, okay, you're good to go. He says, thanks. And he finally goes into the bus and just sits on there. Other people go in. He sees Bakugo. And yeah. Finally, the teacher comes and says, good to see you all here. It looks like we have all of my class and a few other people from different classes. But nice to see you all here. And yeah, we'll be going to Springs. It'll take an hour to get there, or it'll take about a day to get there, so be ready. Once we get there, your week will begin. And yeah. And he just goes on the bus and he just goes in front of the bus and tells the driver to go, and he just sits down. Everyone's talking, and it's like what type of bus would this be? I'm trying to always think about this. It's like a RV, I guess you could say, right? It has like bunk beds, stuff like that. And so there's many buses. And Midoriya is just on a bus with random people. He doesn't know any of them. And yeah. And he's just listening to music, honestly, just laying on one of the beds. There's enough beds for everyone in there, but he just lays on the bed. And yes, it's like girls and boys in the same bus, so it's going to be weird. And some boys are talking about, hey, isn't it weird that there's going to be some girls sleeping in the same area with us? And then there's some perverts like, oh, I'm going to touch them and stuff, right? Midoriya isn't part of any of that. Midoriya is just thinking, I will just sleep. There's nothing to do here. And Midoriya just lays in bed and just takes a nap while listening to music. And that's when people start talking about it. That was my controller. God damn. Sorry. Very sorry. Okay. But yeah. Like I was saying. Don't do that. Rubber's a conductor, so it wouldn't even turn on like that. Okay, but yeah, like I was saying, the kids start talking about Midoriya and saying, we should be aware of him. One of them says, we should be aware of him. And they said, wait, why? Do you not know what his quirk is? And how strong he is? Bakugo even said, the strongest kid in our school. Maybe strongest, we don't know. Midoriya is pretty strong. He says, yeah. He even said, Midoriya, you're probably able to get into UA. We gotta be watching what he does. I mean, look at him. He's already strong enough, don't you think? What happens if he gets stronger? And they said, yeah, that's true. And cut. That's where I'll be ending it off, guys. Hope you enjoy this episode. I'll be doing another episode probably tomorrow. And yeah, And tomorrow will be Christmas Eve, so be prepared. And Merry Christmas. I probably won't be actually posting tomorrow. I'll probably be posting after Christmas Day. So have a very good Christmas, guys. And yeah, see y'all.